What's up, my YouTube fam? I'm back. Hey, this is Lad with Advanced Loan Credit Services here. We educate, restore, and build your credit. It's all about how to leverage your credit, try to grow your financial wealth so you can be financially independent. That is the goal. My goal, it should be your goal. It should be all of our goals in life. So first thing, always, I want to thank my new subscribers that coming to the channel, growing. Hey, please smash that like to make sure that you can move these videos out to the masses to get other people to help. It's very important for us to all improve our credit, be able to prove the flexibility and be able to grow our wealth. I'm telling you from life experiences, from my own experiences, and from me changing how I dealt with credit, how it changed my life in a short period of time, how I've grown in a very short period of time of 2 years, just understanding. That's what got me into this. That's what got me wanting to create this page because, hey, I did it. And I want to pass this knowledge on to you so you can do it. It is out there. It's not a gimmick. It is for real knowledge. You got to pay attention to what's happening around you. Pay attention to what's going on in your bank account. Pay attention to what kind of flexibility you have in your finances. And I'm telling you, if you're struggling, take a minute, look at your credit report. It tells you, it gives you all the indicators right there. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to give you some good information so you can pass on. So, you know, the class today, you read the thumbnail. It's all about getting those negative items removed off your credit report. So I know I haven't been putting out videos and but I've been really trying to grow and grow because knowledge is power, right? So just this last week, hey, went to Credit Con to learn more about removing credit. I'm telling you, I'm all about getting the knowledge to help people remove those negative items and really improve their credit score. Just not somebody just speaking because I don't have no clue and I'm just hearing from other people and I'm just passing what other people say to you. That's just not how I roll. That's not how I get down. Everybody knows me. I'm all about research and continually grow so I can bring you good information. And what I've learned, I'm going to pass that information on to you. Right. So, hey, we want to talk about medical debts. This is always a nagging. This is probably one of the most collections that most people have just because they probably don't have coverage of insurance or the insurance didn't cover their entire bill. So what happens is that stuff gets passed on to a collection company. And we want to know, how do we get these negative, nasty collection accounts off your credit report? So I will tell you, there are difference between different collection accounts. So how do the credit bureau score them? How does the algorithm on credit repair does it? Nobody knows the exact science, but there are signs that collection accounts are not weighed as heavy than non-collection accounts. So so even though they're negative items, I tell people all the time, any negative item on your credit report is a negative indicator, and it's a reason for a creditor to give you higher interest or deny you on a loan. So again, I tell people, don't listen to people say don't pay debt collectors. They should be telling you, how do I get that debt collection off of my account? Because I will go over some of the strategies and knowledge and tell you what would make you go this route over this route and why people choose different strategies to get these things removed. The objective is getting it off your credit report. If it's off your credit report, what they don't know from the mistakes you made, they can't hurt you with. But if you leave it on your credit report because people are giving you bad information, believe me, you're just giving them a reason to give you a higher interest, deny you a loan, and take more money out of your pocket. It is what it is. You know, sometimes we got to own up to our mistakes, fix them, get them off so we can move on and be able to be more financially healthy. So that's the whole point, and that's what I want to get over. So let's get into this. Let's get in. Hey, hit subscribe to the channel. Please smash the like. because that like button, I'm telling you, the like button is what gets YouTube to say, hey, people like this video, so I need to push this video out. There's a lot of people out there with bad credit scores. We need to make sure that these people get this good information so they can improve their credit score. So let's all help out. Let's all help out and push this out, right? So the first thing you want to do when you're trying to remove collection accounts is pull your credit report. You always want to pull it. So you want to pull your credit report and you want to identify the collection accounts that are medical debts. We're not going to talk about the non-medical debts. We're going to come back to that again, but we're going to talk about the medical debts. So what you want to do is you want to look for the collection accounts, and in the comment section, it should say medical debt. If it's a medical debt, it should say medical debt. If you know that's a medical debt or you suspect that to be a medical debt and it's not in the comments, that's already reported inaccurate. You already have one inaccurate that you could be disputing on your credit report. But the things we do here at Advanced Loan Credit Services, before any of that, we want to get with the collection company. I want to send a letter to the collection company because you're reporting on my credit report. You're telling me I owe you this money. You're damaging my credit report. So I'm coming to talk to you first. So the first thing I do is I'm going to send a validation of an ownership or of assignment to the collection company. I do that with all my clients. And I know if you listen to some of my videos, I don't send standard validations. I'm going to send an affidavit. Some people ask, well, Larry, why do you send an affidavit? So if you look up an affidavit, it's a matter of fact letter. I want to know, are these facts that you're sending me? And I'm going to ask you certain questions, and I want you to be factual on these questions. Now, are they going to send me back that affidavit? No. But what they're going to do is they're going to send the information that, or they should be sending me the information that I'm requesting in this affidavit. So I want to go over just a couple things that I write in my affidavit so you can understand, why I use affidavits over using just a standard letter saying, I want you to validate this debt, because that's easy. Why are you making it easy for the collection companies to send you any information that they have? So for me, when I'm sending an affidavit, I always start off with I always put affidavit 2. I put the collection company name and address, and then I'll say requesting authorization of validation of debt, and then I put the account number on there. And then what I do then is I go into the main thing. I go in as a section that says collection account, whoever the company name is, that he or she is an officer of that collection company. As the officer agent of that collection company, he or she is authorized to execute this affidavits on behalf of the collection company and is bound by the company's individual to its provisions. That's one of the topics. So if you see, I'm really being technical about when I'm asking this information, because I want them to know I know what I'm talking about. I know what you should be having. I know what's important to you and what you should be giving to me. So I'm going to ask you these questions. Then what I do after that, I say the collection company name, whoever it is, understands all the laws regarding the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act in accordance to 15 SCR 1692G, which should be on every one of your collection letters when you get them. The Fair Credit Billing Act, your state Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, because every state has one. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 623, Section 617, Section 605 and 605A, and the HIPAA privacy rules, right? And then, which is the Health Insurance Probability and Accountability Act, Section 45 CRF, Parts 160, 162, and 164. That's one paragraph. My affidavits are literally 2 pages long. but that's one of the sections in there. And then I asked that a collector has firsthand knowledge of this alleged debt in question, the original creditor's name, and all general accepting accounting terms, procedures, policies that require to collect this debt. So that's another area that I put in my affidavits. I go on to say in another paragraph, and there's multiple, I'm skipping some because I don't want this video to be too long, and I want you to get kind of the gist of why I use affidavits. And then there's another section, the collection company understands the original creditor has given the collection company, whoever their name, the legal right to collect my medical billing information in the form of an assignment contract or a purchase agreement if you are a debt buyer. So remember, you may have a collection company that's just been assigned the debt, and you may have a collection company that actually bought that debt and purchased that debt. So if they purchased that debt, they should have a purchase agreement. If they've been assigned that debt, they should have an assignment agreement, right? Because they have been legally assigned to collect this debt. They've been legally purchased this debt, will give them authorization if they have the proper documents to collect on this debt. So that's why I asked those specific questions when, let me scroll down a little bit on this affidavit because I'm still on the first page. And then another area that I go to is I just say the collection company has verified this medical billing information with the original creditor and have obtained the medical billing information and verified it to be accurate. The collection company name understand that there must be 180 days grace period before reporting to your name on the credit report stated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So if you have a medical debt that shows up on your credit report before 180 days, they have reported that too early and it goes against the Fair Credit Reporting Act. That's something that you can dispute. Also dispute when you're disputing that this debt has not reached this 180-day grace period before reporting. And that's stated in the Fair Credit Reporting Act and in Metro 2, right? So Metro 2, when you hear me talk about that, is standard guidelines for, reporting information to the credit bureau. This is guidance that they given the creditors, collection companies on how they should be reporting this information to the credit bureaus to report on your credit report. So when you see things that are out of whack, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, that they shouldn't be doing, those are your dispute topics because they're not following the specific guidance that Metro 2 has given the collector on how to report this on your credit report. So I go into a little bit other stuff. It is understood by sending unsubstantiated demands for payment through the U.S. postal system might constitute mail fraud under the federal law and state laws. It is understood that reselling, reassigning, or sending an unverified debt to another debt collection company is fraud. So what happens sometimes, these affidavits, I do it all the time. I send it out, and then all of a sudden, they move that, they don't verify the debt, and then they sell it to another collection company or pass it, which it was their responsibility. If I send a collection company a validation letter to them, they are supposed to validate the debt. By sending that unverified debt to another collection company, they're wrong and they cannot do that. And you can use that against them, that they are passing unverified debt after you requested verification and they refused to verify and sold it to another collection company. That's something else that you can use against them. That's why I use affidavits, because they're strong letters. They're letters that get deep, and they want to make sure that they're not going to be legally binded by sending me some information. And then maybe it's a $2,000 medical debt. I go get me an attorney, and then the attorney finds some discrepancies in there, and then we sue them. So what happens is they don't want that. So they understand this may be a little fishy. This affidavit is a pretty strong letter. I may not want to pursue this debt, so I may pass it on to somebody else that doesn't even know, because they're not going to tell them, and pass it on. And the next thing you know, they're sending you a letter trying to get you to validate a debt that they didn't validate, which is illegal. So that's how you catch them. This is information, and I'm giving you this solid information. So don't let nobody tell you they need a HIPAA release form and all that stuff. That's they haven't read the HIPAA. They haven't read HIPAA. So that's not, because a collection company can provide medical. They can collect on medical debt. They can. They just can't have your medical information. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that because it's in my affidavit. So the first page that I have is strictly for the collection company. It even gets deep down. It says, hey, it is understood that verification is defined in Black's Law Dictionary, the 5th edition, as follows. Confirmation of correctness, truth, authenticity by affidavit, oath, or disposition. So it goes into that. So it's letting them know, hey, I understand. I know what correctness and I know what the truth and authenticity is. So that's the first page of my affidavit. Now, the second page of my affidavit just gets into more fine-tuned stuff. It's really more for you as the consumer. This is the page that you actually sign. I put a little, excuse me, I put a little other stuff on there. This is where your name and address goes, account number goes, the amount of the debt goes. The collection agency's address, your name and address, the account number, the amount. And then there's a couple of sections I put in here. So on the second page, it'll say, your name is requesting all documents that will prove the collection company name has a legal right to collect on this debt. Whoever your name is requesting a purchase agreement or an assignment contract and all business records associated with this account, since this will explain the debt in question. Then the next thing is there's another paragraph. The collection company has entered into a HIPP, which is HIPAA, compliance business associate agreement with the vendor prior to giving to PHI. What PHI is public health information. So that's always in there, because a collection company has to have signed this information if they're dealing with your PHI, public health information. They have to have this. They have to have this agreement assigned. Have assigned this agreement. And then it goes into saying a copy of a bill will not and does not give you a legal right to collect this debt in a court of law. This has been stated by the Fair Trade Commission. You must be the owner of this debt or have an assignment contract with the creditor. In addition, I have never entered into a contract with whoever the collection company name is. So you must have a legal right or ownership or an assignment contract to collect on this debt. And then it goes into some other stuff. I will file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the FTC, your state attorney general, and my state attorney general. And then you sign it, you send it, you notarize it, and you send it certified mail to them. Because why do you send it certified mail? Because you want to know when they received it, and you want to know that they received it. And then you want to know that, okay, they received it. Now they're on the clock. I want to see if they're going to respond to my affidavit that I send. So we'll talk a little bit more about this affidavit at the end of this class. But that's what I do. That's what I send them. And why do I send them? Because now I want to know the information they send me back. Are they going to send me the original creditor's name and address, what they should be doing? Sometimes you'll see they won't even send you the address. They just say, hey, this is who Beaumont Medical Emergency. That's the original creditor. Well, who's the address? Well, I need to know who's the original creditor's address. Why? Because I'm going to send them a letter. I'm going to send them a letter saying I'm being collecting on this debt and I need information on this debt because the information that's being provided from me from the collector is not accurate. Listen to what I'm telling you. Now you sending them and say, because of this information not being accurate, I need proof of it, or this could be a HIPAA violation. That's all you need to say. And because they are collecting on behalf, they could be liable, or they, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not trying to give you legal advice. I'm saying could possibly be having a HIPAA violation, and could be, you could maybe get your lawyer, talk to a lawyer and see if there's further action that you can take against them, right? So both people will fall up under there. So you want to make sure these people are following these the rules and regulations for trying to collect on these medical debts. So that's why I send an affidavit. If they don't send me all the information, I send a second affidavit in response to not getting all the information. And I have that letter too that I send that I will go over with you if I don't feel like I'm getting all the information from the collector when I sent them my affidavit. And let me see, I could pull this up. It just really goes into saying I, the name, sent you an affidavit asking the collection company for proper ownership of debt. The affidavit asks to prove the collection company had ownership of the debt on assignment contract ending this account number, this reference name, this reference number that they may have provided you when they validated or so-called validated the debt by providing the complete purchase agreement of debt from the original creditor or the assignment contract that I never received. And then you just go into your examples. What information are you asking? Why are you asking for this information? All I have was a letter from you on your letterhead saying how much I owe, but no other information, no address of the original creditor, no information that will let me know that I have to pay you this particular debt, right? Those are the questions you want to ask. Hey, I need verification of this account number from the original creditor, something on the original creditor's letterhead saying that I owe this debt. I need the address of the original creditor so I could send the original creditor a validation letter of this debt to validate the accuracy of what you're trying to collect from me. That's really all you need to ask. You don't need to go into a whole lot of other stuff. Those are the things you want. And that's the follow-up letter I send. And I also send a letter to the original creditor because the original creditor is trying to collect on his debt. And you want to make sure that all this information, because if it's not right, then there may be grounds to get the debt removed or talk to a lawyer and see, do I have any grounds to take further action? That's what you want to do. So we covered the affidavit, the first steps I take dealing with medical debt. It's important that you follow these steps. It's important that you understand these steps. So when you're talking and going after these guys, when you're trying to get these medical debts off your credit report, that you understand what's going on and you can get this stuff removed. Don't make it easy, make it difficult. Okay. So let me get out of here. I'm gonna go back, get out of there. So we talked about the affidavits. We sent that in. So now we're going to talk about the credit report. Now, you pulled that credit report. You pulled it, and now you want to look at what are the things that could be reporting on this collection account that could be accurate. Again, there's something called Metro 2 that tells you things that need to happen. So you're looking down and you find a medical debt. You find it says medical debt. You're going to look all across the board. Now, there's something you need to understand that you probably never really noticed. So say you have a collection account and there's only two on this section. And then you scroll down and you see another one all by itself off on a whole nother section. Know why that is? Is because they're all not reporting the same. And because there's different information reporting on another one, the credit report move them away from the other two, because they don't match. So now you start thinking there's an inaccuracy, because if they're not all here the same, there is something wrong. So now if all three across the board are the same, they're all reporting the same. Now they may have a date, like an open date, may be off a few days, but all the categories match. That's what that means. I'm telling you, all the categories match. So all three of them are there. But if they all don't match, and we're going to talk about that, then what happens is that one account has been moved off by itself. And that's a clear indication there's some inaccuracies with that credit report, with that credit bureau, and that collection account. So now what are you looking for? What are you looking for is, are they reporting a past due balance on your medical debt? They can't report a past due balance. You're not the original creditor. Collection company is not the original creditor. So they cannot, and it's in Metro 2, they cannot put a past due balance. What else they can't do, right? They can't have a last payment. How did you unless you made a payment, you started paying on it and then you stop, that'd be the only reason. But if you've never made a payment to that collection company, they can't report you having a past due, a payment history, meaning you made a payment on this date. So that's the thing that you want to look for. So be cautious on those areas. Now, you also want to look at the balance. That's why you want to validate. Are they reporting the same balance that they send me on? Because sometimes they may send you a balance on when they're validating, that is not the same balance on the credit report. That's an inaccuracy. And now you have proof of the inaccuracy. You have proof because you validated that they told you owe this much, but your credit report says you owe this much. That's an inaccuracy. That is solid grounds to get that account removed off your credit report. So those are the things you need to be look for. Look at the account that's being listed on your validation, and the account, your credit report account. Man, I'm getting tongue tied. But you want to look at all that stuff. Past due balances. You want to look at any kind of things in the 2-year history. It should not be any indications in the 2-year history. Not. Now, if it's a charge-off account, which is different, you may see that in there, but not in a collection account. So all that stuff you need to be looking at, and you need to start writing down. What I do is I start writing down, or when I pull the credit report, I start circling the inaccuracies. I start circling all the inaccuracies. Now, I don't never dispute online, because you're limited on the categories when you dispute online, and you really can't explain what you're really trying to dispute. That's why I always send in dispute letters. No, you do not have to. It's a waste of money to send certified mail into the credit bureau just based on their system. Just mail in the letter. Do not just spend an extra $3 to send a certified mail in. You're wasting your money when you do that. Just send in a letter, post it, send it in. Don't send in with a return receipt. You're wasting your money. Just go ahead and mail it in. Mail it in. When you're writing your dispute letters, I've talked about this. Be specific on what you're disputing. Now, if you know that account's not yours, then say, this account is not mine. Please verify the name, address of this account. You need to do that. Now, if you know that account's yours, you're telling them to verify something that you're going to get. It's been verified as accurate and true. So you have to find, that's why they call it factual disputing. You have to dispute the actual items that are reporting inaccurate. So I've given you some late, they show you got a past due balance, right? They show there's your last payment date. That's inaccurate. It may be your balances. That could be inaccurate. But let me tell you what I also do. Now, I also always, even though I'm telling you this stuff, you may, well, why do you do this before this? I send the affidavit in and I send in the dispute to the credit bureaus just based on the information. Because I want the credit bureaus to validate, the collection company to validate on their end and validate with the credit bureaus. Because if that information doesn't line up to be accurate, I got them. Because they just validated with the credit bureau and they validated it by sending me the validation letter. So I do both at the same time. I send off the affidavit and then I send off the dispute letters to the credit bureaus and then I wait for the response. Then let's talk about, so we covered, make sure it's listed as a medical debt. Make sure you annotate, circle the inaccuracies on your credit report, balances, account numbers. You want to make sure that they are there's no late payments showing. You want to make sure there's no past due balances showing. You want to make sure there's not a last payment date showing on any collection account. So really, none of that should be on any collection account. And then you want to make sure, don't be afraid to write a letter to the original creditor because they're going to say they're collecting this debt on behalf of the original creditor. So make sure you get the creditor's address. Make sure you get all that information from the collection company so you can verify with the original creditor. Make sure. Now, moving into the next steps, because there are different strategies. Like when people tell you to do, there's multiple strategies. So what if they send you back the letter and you had the debt, they validated it correctly. You just want to get this debt off your credit report because maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you want to buy a home, maybe you're looking to purchase a home, and you're trying to improve your credit score. You don't want to wait. This is a debt that maybe you had last year. You don't want to wait 6 years for a debt to come off your credit report. That's crazy. You don't want to do that. You want to put yourself in jail in finances, finance jail. That's what I call it. Financial jail for 6 years, waiting for this negative information to fall off your credit report. Doesn't make sense, right? Get it off your credit report now so you can jump your credit score and reap the benefits of having good credit. Quit punishing yourself and putting yourself on a sentence, right? So what do? You get all that information back. Now, once you get that information back, you're like, man, I got this $300 or $400, $500 medical debt, and I want to get it off. Man, how could I get it off? So Advanced Loan Credit Services, what is our next strategy to get medical debts off? So I talked to my clients and I said, listen, we can get this medical debt off of here. And they say, well, how you do it? I said, we're going to send them a restrictive endorsement letter and we're going to try to settle this debt. But when we settle this debt, we're going to settle it to get it removed off your credit report. Now, mind you, collection companies are about getting paid. Let's be honest. They are about getting paid. That is their industry and they want to get paid. They pay pennies on the dollars for these debts and they want to get them off. So they're going to make some money on it. It's just how much they're going to make. How are they going to make 1,000%? Are they going to make 100%? Or are they going to make 50% profit? But they're going to make a profit. So what do? So here at Advanced Loan Credit, I use restrictive endorsement letters. So I get with my clients and I write a letter to them. And not to my clients, but I write a letter for my clients. And that letter is a restrictive endorsement letter. And I write the terms and conditions for settling this debt. How do we settle this debt? We settle this debt with a personal check. And we write the terms and conditions for cashing this personal check on the check and in a letter. Now, most times those collection companies, and that say it's a $500, we'll send them a check for $250. That's what we'll do. Because we're going fishing. Boop. We're going to go out there. We're going to throw that little check with that money on it. We're going to send it in with the terms and conditions. We're going to send them a check and we're going to say, you got a check for $250. You going to take it or you going to mail it back? Are you going to take it or are you going to mail it back? And when they looking at that check and they go to their supervisor and say, hey, they sent us a check for $250. Can we cash this check and endorse this check and send it in? They probably, yeah, just go ahead and cash it. Just go ahead. And they read that letter and then they take it off. In most cases, I have a lot of clients. That's why, some of my videos, you see all the medical debts I done had removed and stuff like that. It's because I've sent in those type of letters or I disputed that stuff off. And then, so what happens? So somebody say, well, what if they just cash a check and then, listen, if they endorse a check, that means they agree to the terms and conditions of your check. So anybody, you can leave a comment, tells me that they can cash a check without endorsing it on the back, especially a personal check. You always got to sign the back and endorse it. So, see, it's all about strategies. All about thinking of strategies and understanding, right? So what happens? So what if they don't take it off, but they just put 0 in there? Okay, no problem. I got a letter for that. I got a letter sending back. And what we do is we take the copy of the front and the back of the check and what we wrote on the check and the letter, and we send it back to them. Say, you agreed to this term, and my bank has the check, the front and back, to show that you endorsed this check and you agreed to the terms and conditions of the check. You need to remove it off my credit report. Now, they understand there could be legal ratifications behind it. I'm not a lawyer again, but it could be legal ratifications for cashing a check that you already told them if they cash, they agreed to the terms and conditions. And I don't think they want to go into a courtroom and show a judge where they endorsed the check that had the terms and conditions on the back and you sent them a letter because you wasn't trying to be secretive or deceitful, right? So I don't think they want to go through that route and then end up getting sued behind it. Because now you're damaging my credit report and you agreed to remove something and you're continually damaging my credit report. So I don't think a collection company want to go through that fight. So that's why I'm telling you, look, I research, I learn, and my job is to bring y'all real solid knowledge. Some people don't even know about this strategy. Have never even heard of it. I mean, I'm in groups that I tell them and they be like, oh my gosh, I've never even heard of this. So I'm telling you, it's all about research and understanding what you're supposed to understand to get this stuff off. So it's all about getting it off. So say the disputing didn't work. Say the affidavit didn't work, right? You did all that. You did your method of verification. That didn't work. You went through all those steps and you're like, I need to get this off my credit report. I need to settle this debt. But you do not want to settle a collection account and keep it on your credit report. You do not want to do that. There's no reason to pay them then. No reason to pay them because you're still going to get punished for the 6 years. So when they say don't pay debt collection company, that's what they mean. Don't pay them if they're not going to remove it off your credit report. They're just going to damage your credit report's still damaged because anytime you file it, if you pay it, it may lessen. You may still get a bump in your credit score because it's a paid collection versus an unpaid. Now, if anybody tells you it doesn't help your credit score at all, they don't understand FICO and they need to talk to people that work at FICO like I have. It does help. It's not going to increase your score as much as it wasn't on there, but it's a paid collection. And just think of this. You're trying to go get a house. What does it look like that you have a debt that you owe $700 on, but you want a mortgage company to give you a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 loan? But you don't even want to pay this $700 collection account. That's why it's hard to get, your scores are really low when you have open collection accounts when you're trying to take out a mortgage, right? But if it's paid, it shows the mortgage company, at least they took care of their debt. It's not going to hurt your credit score as much, right? So don't let anybody tell you not to pay it and leave an unpaid collection account on your credit report. They're fooling you and they have no clue what they're talking about. And I'll tell them to their face. So they clueless. So listen to the people that understand how credit actually works, that actually go invest time to learn about credit learn about strategies, talk to people at FICO, talk to people at Vantage Score, talk to people in the industry and other people, and learn different strategies that help you improve your credit score. So, hey, again, this is Larry. If you have any questions, leave the comments. I'm all about giving y'all some free knowledge and comments. If you're interested in even getting those letters from me, hey, send me an email. Hey, I'm interested, or leave it in the comments. How could I get those restrictive endorsement letters from you? You know, how could I get that stuff that help me? The affidavits, the restrictive endorsement letter. Hey, shoot me an email. I'll tell you how to get them from me. I have a little small package. You can get them for like $25. Little small, $25. I give you the restrictive, an affidavit for non-medical debts, a restrictive endorsement letter. An affidavit for non-medical debts, medical debts, the follow-up letters, and the restrictive endorsement letters. If you're interested, just hit me up. I'll show you how to do it. I'm setting up my Patreon account. I was using Gunrow, but I can't be using them. So and I'm just keeping it real with you. So everybody, if you're interested, just shoot me an email. I'll tell you how you can get these letters so you can get this negative stuff off your credit report. I am going to have some more classes. We already talked about collection accounts. We talked about medical collections. I'm probably going to do another video today because, hey, today's my birthday. I didn't tell y'all today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. But be shooting out some more videos today. We're going to talk about, how to get a 700 credit score, and we're going to talk about some good people. We're going to talk about how to improve your credit score, some easy places that you can get credit. Some of them that you don't even pull your credit score. Some banks that credit unions that are easy places if you join them to what they say, create a relationship with them so you can get some starter accounts, some starter loans, some credit cards with them. The credit unions are best places. Credit unions are best places to open an account. They typically have more money to lend, and they typically are not as stringent on giving out money than banks are. So look at it. If you're with a bank, you may think about getting with a credit union. I'm ex-military. So I have an account with Navy Federal and an account with USAA. I don't have any accounts outside of that. I'm all about credit unions, but all my money goes in I'm all about Navy Federal, man. They the bomb. I promote them all the time. So, hey, I thank you for hanging out with Larry. Please smash that like button, that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm all about giving y'all really solid credit information. I know I've been talking about this and I'm getting it together. I'm definitely this week, probably on Monday, I'm going to be putting up my portfolio on my Webull account because I want to show you I'm not all about talk. I'm all about show me, right? So I want to show you how I'm investing my money. And again, I just started investing in May. And you're going to be surprised from May to now how much I've got in my account, how much am I investing in, just the people that I'm looking to invest in, and I want to share that. And I'm really going to try to start a little stock group to help. We can all talk about stocks coming, what we're investing in, and kind of grow together, right? Because again, it's enough out here for all of us. It's enough. But we need to be able to share this information and grow together. Pull the tribe, all the tribe together, and we all make everybody and create a better financial situation for all of us. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate you hanging out with Advanced Loan Credit Services. Hey, this number up here on the back is probably not going to be working too much. I got to get that fixed. But I'll be posting up my new number. I do have people to try to call, have questions about stuff like that. Or shoot me a text. I can handle you. But the number's going to change because the services they're going out of business. So I need to update that. But I will be posting up the new number. If you want my number, leave it in the comments. Shoot me an email. I give you my number. You can give me a call if you got questions. But hey, this is Larry with Advanced Loan Credit Services. Hey, coming out of Cali. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you hanging out with me again. Smash, subscribe. Please come on back. I got some better information on the next show. So I appreciate your time. And thank you very much for hanging out with me. All right. Have a blessed day.